Hey man, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Everything's fine. Sounds great. There you
Awesome.
go. Cool, cool,
Awesome.
cool, cool.
Well,
Evil,
nice to meet you, dude.
you too, man. Evil Scarecrow, Matt Burton. Um, Tell me a little bit about the history of the band in the early days when you first started. Was there auditions or how did everybody get together?
Oh, dude, now you're asking me to remember stuff. I mean, we're going back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, we were actually in a band called I was in a band called Thor's Children. We were
Uh-huh.
like we were Norse Viking metal before Viking metal was a thing, right? You know, we
Right.
had like plastic helmets and fake beards and stuff. And every show we did, we tried to do a different theme. So we were Vikings, sort
Uh-huh.
of, but
Right.
then we'd dress up as something else. So we'd be like Vikings dressed as, I don't know, hula Hawaiian girls on our Hawaiian nights
Right.
was coconut bras and stuff. So
Uh-huh.
it was a very confusing thing. Um, I finished and I was in some of the had this little bit of talent around me, and we thought, well, we'll do something new. So we started Evil Scarecrow from there, and then we've lost members along the way. That sounds like I've killed them.
Right. Right.
We've had lineup changes along the way. So yeah, a couple of people have auditioned, and um, some recent additions were like our latest guitarist. He was the guy that builds all of our props, but he's a
Right.
incredible talent. So yeah, it was kind of born. It was born out of friendship,
Uh-huh.
and we've sort of maintained that throughout. It's been a whirlwind in a way. We never really expected the band to do anything. It was
Right.
always a it was always a labor of stupidity, I
Uh-huh.
suppose. It was a
Uh-huh.
labor of insanity,
Right.
and it turned into something remarkable, which I still don't thoroughly understand.
Uh-huh. Cool, cool, cool. So you always wanted to have some kind of image or stage show right from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I used to go to like this little rock bar
Mhm.
when I was younger, and I always loved live music. And the bands that always made me smile the most are those that did the most.
Right.
That just did everything. You know, they were like they had a stage show, they had a presence, they had the music, they had everything. And the ones I found the most boring were those that just sort of stood there and like knocked out a few covers or something, and just they weren't just giving everything.
Right.
So yeah, we were like, well, let's do everything.
Right. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
stupidly, like, we'll do everything. We'll make sure we've got like great synths, and we'll do samples, and we'll do costumes, and we'll do props, and we'll do stage show, and we'll write great music, and we'll do shouting, and we'll do singing, and we'll just do everything,
Right. Yeah.
everything we can do, and we'll
Uh,
give everything. And yeah, it's exhausting. I can see why the other bands just go up and play a song now.
cool. Cool. Yeah, but for me, I'm a photographer. For I'd rather see a show. You know, I mean, if I have a guy with a t-shirt and jeans, if I photograph him 10 times in 10 different venues, who's going to know what venue they're at?
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah. So I mean, that was my thinking really, is when we started it, was just to make sure people leave happy,
Uh-huh.
entertained, and maybe even a bit like, what the fuck was that we've
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
just seen?
Uh-huh. Cool. Plus, it's good for merchandise.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that's not something that really particularly crossed our mind. We're not a very commercial band, to be
Uh-huh.
fair. Um, interestingly, we're having a chat with these very lovely brewery, Black Iris Brewery. If you want some nice beer,
Uh-huh.
check out Black Iris. They don't pay me for this, but they're very nice guys, and we were chatting to them about it, and we were sort of saying how, in many ways, Evil Scarecrow are like, we're so non-commercial. It's daft because the latest album we just released, we sort of bounce around genres, and that's
Uh-huh.
commercially terrible because
Right. Yeah.
people don't know where to put us. You know, they can't really add us to a pop punk playlist, even though we've done a pop punk track. So
Right.
it's not very good for
Uh-huh.
the Spotify. It's not very good for the algorithms. It's not very good for anything. So commercially, we're not that smart really, and
Uh-huh.
I certainly wasn't thinking merchandising when we started the band. I was
Right.
just like, hey, let's let's get out there and do something stupid and fun. And
Uh,
that really hasn't changed much, to be honest, because you know we don't really make any money. Evil Scarecrow.
cool, cool. Now, your first release was Crowcifixion.
Crowcifiction.
Yeah, in 2006.
Yeah.
How much has the band changed since that? And that was an indie release.
Oh man, I mean that it's changed so much, I think, especially musically and especially production wise.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we recorded that in a shared house in the cellar. The drum mics were like £110 for the whole set of drum
Uh-huh.
mics. We sort of tried to do the recording and mixing and mastering because we had no money at all. We literally
Right.
just we had no money. So we tried to do it ourselves, and it really shows because it
Uh-huh.
sounds horrible, and
Right.
like we never ever go back to listen to that album because but it's part of our history,
Uh-huh.
and I think with regards to some of the songwriting on there, some of it's okay, but I think if you sort of play that next to our last album, you wouldn't know that necessarily we're the same band. I suppose my
Right.
vocal style's changed. You know the way we write music has changed. One of the biggest things for us, I think, in our progression was when we released Galactic Hunt.
Right.
Got to
Yeah.
say that very carefully, Galactic Hunt,
Yeah.
in which is sort of our in the middle of the stuff. I think so. I think it's our third or yeah third studio album, and that was a real step change for us because we got to work with the proper record producer. Then we worked with the amazing Russ Russell, who has
Right.
worked with like Napalm Death and Dibby Borgir and all these real bands, proper grown up bands, and he really helped us get our recording good and help with our sound and even down to some how we put our songs together and that was like I think that was the real step change for us. That's when things changed for Scarecrow because we went from I guess this really bad silly garage band to something that was recognized,
Right.
which was very weird for us.
Cool, cool. Wow. Now, your first two were indie releases, and then you went to Records. Um, can you tell me anything about that label?
Sure, I mean it's my label.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
so
That's
so
good.
like when we well what happened was we sort of started going through distribution, and for
Right.
distribution you need a label, so we set that up. There's no other band on that label.
Right. Yeah.
It is what it is, and so we are still a sovereign band, we're still an indie band, we are still doing our own thing. We've just
Right.
got a bit more professional at it, and now we know what I say professional, we now know what we're doing. Interestingly, we've never really had very many offers from actual record labels that actually do the job properly.
Uh-huh.
And I think there's probably lots of reasons for that. But hey, if anyone's listening,
Uh-huh.
go ahead and do it. Here's a fun story though. I heard from somebody who was in a similar position and they had to make up their
Uh-huh.
own record label as well. I think lots
Right.
of people do this. So they, they made up their record label and they called their record label, this was the name of it, a major record label, so that
Uh-huh.
when people say who you signed to, they would
Uh-huh.
just say a major record label.
Yeah, that's good. Good, good. And plus you get the hands-on on everything, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah.
So I like it, you know? I mean, it's like all in-house stuff. And I guess you profit from in-house stuff, and you don't have to really get demands from a record label. We want this single, but you want that single, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're big enough in the scene that we get to talk to, bands who are signed and we know the kind of pitfalls that other bands face in that world and the control labels have
Right,
over those kind of creative decisions. So for us, it's cool because we can release the album like we've just done. And I think
right,
most record labels, if they listen to that album, will be like, what the hell are you?
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you thrash metal? Are you industrial metal? Are you pop punk? Are you 1980s
Hmm.
rock? What on
Right.
earth are you doing?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now the new album, Silicon T, um, just released. And tell me a little bit about. We're going to go down each song. When I listened to the album, I felt like either it was like a trilogy album or like a really different for me listening to that album. Um, very good. I really enjoyed it because, like, it just seems like I was almost like watching a movie, you know?
Hey, I'll take that. We're big movie fans, so
Yeah. So
yeah, that's nice.
I enjoyed the songs very much, and you can lean back and get into it, and between the instruments and the vocals, I enjoyed it. Definitely cool.
Thank
Uh,
you.
let's go to track one, Nuclear Fallout. Tell me a little bit about that song.
We wrote that in COVID, actually. In fact, that Shred the Evidence and Master of the Dojo, they're the first songs we wrote on this album, and they were in. I came back from Ibiza,
Uh-huh.
and we went into the recording studio, and after the first night in the recording studio, I was sick, and I thought, oh, we drank too much gin last night with our
Uh-huh.
record producer. But I thought, well, I'll do a quick COVID test just in case. That's what we're supposed to do, and it came back positive. So we'd only booked 4 days in
Right.
the recording studio, but this was back when if you were COVID positive, then you had to stay locked in wherever you were. So we
Right.
went
Yeah.
in for 4 days, and we had to stay there for eight. And the record producer had to stay there, and
Uh-huh.
we were all sleeping in this tiny little room together. It was insane. So it was born out of like because we wrote while we were there pretty much. So and some of the band weren't there, so we was having to send stuff for those guys to record and send back to us. And yeah, I guess it was a song that we I heard years ago that a lot of the nuclear submarines that are floating around nowadays, they're all running really old versions of
Right.
Windows, like Windows 98 or something. So we kind of thought about how terrible that is, and that it's very easily hacked and could go wrong.
Uh-huh.
So this was our sort of brainchild of what could happen
Right. Yeah.
if a
So,
nuclear submarine went rogue. And we thought, then we kind of, you talk about movies, or we love movies, and we were
right.
like, well, if a movie was made about this, it would inevitably be set in the States. So we thought it'd be funny to set it like in Australia for no
Uh-huh.
reason. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hence the Australian voice at the start,
Uh-huh.
which is again, I guess, a bit of a poke at the movie world in a way, which can be
Right.
very sort of American centric. And we thought, well,
Yeah.
let's not lean into that. So
Right.
we went for yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the submarine is. I don't know what nationality that is.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
poor people at the hands of the death of the submarine is some Australians.
Cool.
Sorry, Australia.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Let's go to track number two, Shred the Evidence.
Right. Well, this was a stupid idea, really. We joked one day, wouldn't it be great if we had a really shreddy solo, and just before the solo, I shouted "shred the evidence."
Uh-huh.
So it was a terrible pun, which we
Uh-huh.
turned into a song. But yeah, it's a bit of a sort of thrashy number. We
Uh-huh.
just really wanted a lift after that first sort of slower, more I guess a nod to industrial kind of a track. So yeah, we
Right.
wanted this. We wanted a big slap in the face after that one.
Cool. Cool. So who does the writing and who does the music?
It's a real collaboration. So and we can start anywhere.
Uh-huh.
To be
Right.
fair, there's no like we don't have a set process. Um, so I mean, for that song in particular, I think the riff came from our bass player.
Uh-huh.
We were writing the lyrics in the studio. The solo was done there. I write a lot of the synth stuff now. We used to
Hmm.
have a synth player, but we decided just to tour and write without that. So I write a lot of the synth and scoring stuff. Even our record producer puts little bits in as well. So it's like it's a real kind of collaborative effort. I guess I write most of the lyrics and the vocal
Cool.
melodies, but again, we've got such a talented band that everybody even contributes in that space as well a bit. So I think on this album as well, Count Gravedigger, our guitarist, he definitely brought loads of new music to us
Right.
on this particular album, and there's a lot of his influence in the writing and a lot of his riffs that sort of led the songs
Mhm.
as well. But yeah, it just really just comes from anywhere half the time.
Cool. Cool. And who came up with the album cover? AI?
No,
Uh,
no. Everybody thinks it's AI, and that's on purpose. So there's it's an amazingly talented artist we use called Andy Pilkington.
uh-huh,
And when we gave him the brief, I said, I want people to think that this is AI, but I want you to do it all. And he's like,
uh-huh.
well, what do you mean? And I says, I want a robot on it, but I want it to have 7 fingers.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And I said, I bet you any money people will go, this is AI because it's got six
That's what
fingers,
I thought.
and they won't have even counted the fingers because we've
Uh-huh.
actually got 7. And he's like, we'll give an extra 2 fingers then. So there's this whole sort of joke hidden in there in a way, and there's all of these references that are kind of hidden in the artwork as well. And we've worked with Andy before, and he's just incredible. But
Right,
he could. I mean, he's even been popping online and showing some of the 3D modeling that he's done in the background to make this
right.
album exactly what it is. So this was created by an incredible artist
Uh-huh.
as a stab at the AI generated world. So
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody's fallen for it. Everyone's gone.
Yeah, me too.
This is a load.
Hey.
This is a load of AI, and we're like, ah.
Cool, 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 cool. And what's your feeling about AI?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's a tool. I guess it's there to make our lives easier. We do use it in bits here and there as a band, but not very much because it's kind of a bit shit,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think it is a bit shit.
Uh-huh.
But I think as a band, we will always do our best to kind of support creatives in that space, and I think AI should sort of be more reserved to like manual, repetitive tasks than creativity.
Right.
That's my personal thought
hmm
on the thing, really. But in my personal life, I use it a fair bit because we all do. We're all going to. It's no different than the printing press, is it? Or the TV, or the internet, or
hmm
whatever. This is a new tool that everybody's going to end up using it in a few years' time.
Right, yeah.
Um, People would be, what do you mean you'd never used to have AI? So
Uh-huh.
it's there. It's not going anywhere, is it? You may as
Good.
well. We may as well embrace our robot overlords. I always say please, just in
hmm
case.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If you ever even type in your own name and put the band name after it, it'll give you all information from AI about your whole life,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is a very scary tool.
Cool, cool. Tell me about track number 3, Shoptimus Prime.
I love this. This was my favorite song on the album to record and do. Actually, it's it was originally called Bezos, and the bass player brought it to us, and it was like got this idea of doing a song called Bezos, and it could have all this throat singing at the start, and
Uh,
we could do this bit in the middle, and I'm like, this is cool, man. And then actually the sort of riff, the main riff came from again Count Gravedigger, and it was a song he wrote when he was a teenager,
right,
but the
yeah.
timing was all off. The timing seemed to change, so we rewrote it with him, and it sort of came from there really. So um, it's interesting where it came from, and then we just leaned into the ludicrousness of Amazon in a way, I
Uh,
suppose.
cool.
Um, my favorite bit was we was trying to find ridiculous things on Amazon that we could reference in the song,
Right.
and they were really hard to sing. So there's a line for this one, and it's something like a magic reversible sequin Nicolas Cage pillow,
Uh-huh.
uh, which you can buy, and the other one
Right,
was a Yasito chicken harness and lead, so you can take your chicken for a walk.
right.
Uh, so it was fun, kind of researching the absolute crappiest things you can buy on Amazon. There was a
Wow.
lot of choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Track number 4, Green Bin Day.
We were, I remember, we were in Grimsby doing a show, and I can't remember who came up with it or where it came from, but we said, wouldn't it be funny to do a pop punk song
hmm
riffing on Green Day, and we call
Yep.
it Green Bin Day. And our drummer was very much against this. He's like, "No, I don't want to do a pop punk song, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna do
Uh-huh.
this." And we recorded it, and we were like, "Oh fucking hell, this is really annoying and catchy." And we love and hate the track. We love it because actually it's such good fun to play. It was
Uh-huh.
such good fun to write. We think it's a real anthem, and we hate it
Uh-huh.
because we cannot get the bastard out of our heads once we
Uh,
start. And every 2 weeks, when it
uh-huh,
genuinely is Green Bin Day here,
uh-huh.
it sets me off. And I'm furious at myself. So I'm sorry, everybody out there who is sharing this pain.
Wow, wow. Track number 5 is Master of Dojo.
Yeah, that's the first song from this album, I suppose. And it's actually been out for quite a while. Again, that riff came from Count Gravedigger. I'm like, wow, this riff is awesome. And we were like, what should we do our first song about? And Count Gravedigger, he's great. He's one of my dearest friends, and he's really obsessed with the 80s and movies from the 80s. And I'd been watching Cobra Kai
Uh-huh,
at the time, which is a TV show I really loved because it's ridiculous. So we wanted to lean into that in a way. We wanted to sort of write a song in homage to that idea of like the 80s being cool in a shit way, if that makes
yeah,
sense. And that's what I think
uh,
Cobra Kai did really well. They kind of have brought back an 80s feeling, but it's modern. And
yeah.
yeah, so it was a nod to that show, I think.
Uh-huh. That's a really interesting show. It's pretty wild that that movie was like so long ago,
Yeah.
and like they remodeled the whole series, uh, to update it. You know.
Yeah, and I love that it's sort of about Johnny.
Uh-huh.
In many ways, it's more about Johnny than
Uh-huh.
Daniel, and that is
Right.
cool. I just thought it was really cool, and yeah, we just wanted to do, and we thought straight away as well, props wise, this is brilliant. And for the live show, we have a giant pair of chopsticks. I
Uh-huh.
mean, they're huge,
Uh-huh.
and we give them to the audience member, and they have to try and catch a giant fly
Oh
that we
yeah.
that we
Cool.
float around, and they're trying to
Wow.
catch this giant fly with these giant chopsticks. So it's a real crowd pleaser when we do live stuff too, and yeah, we do love it.
Cool. Cool. Tell me about track number 6, Release the Kraken.
You're gonna think we're all insane, man. I
Uh-huh.
mean, maybe we are.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So um, again, we have a really sort of ridiculous stage show, and um, Count Gravedigger, or Dean, let's call him Dean because it's shorter and everybody knows. So Dean, our guitarist, he was like, "Hey, I found these big inflatable tentacles that we can
Uh-huh.
buy. That look really cool.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we write a song about a kraken?"
Mm-hmm.
So we went away, and in very typical evil Scarecrow fashion, we wrote about a chicken
Uh-huh.
instead and called it the Krakhen.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Dean's obviously like going, "Can I still use the tentacles?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'll make sure some tentacles are in the song somewhere."
Uh-huh.
And then we wanted this kind of dirty, like almost sort of devil went to Georgia feeling to the
Uh-huh.
to the verses, and yeah, we musically we wanted it to feel like you're sat in some sort of Southern American shack with a
Uh-huh.
crackhead.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like it when there's kind of like a theme to a song instead of I guess just a mellow song and stuff like that. And because you could really get into it if you read the lyrics, you know. So
yeah. I mean, in Scarecrow fashion as well, we decided just to make. I mean, it doesn't sound it, but like the time signatures on this song are
right,
crackers that
yeah,
don't make much sense. It's like if you try and count along to it in musical terms, it is a very weird time signature to it, and like even the choruses is typically you'd think it'd be a count of four.
right,
So we do like a release the Kraken, and then there's a count of five in there, so it's jarring. It feels a little bit weird, and
right.
everybody's expecting to come in on the beat that's the
Uh-huh.
four beat, but it's actually it comes back in on the fifth. So it's even structurally we wanted to make it feel a little bit strange with regards to the count of it, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah, cool, cool. Track number 7, Welly in the Mud.
I'm pleased I can actually answer these and go, well, this came from here because
Uh-huh.
I don't know how the bands come up with shit, but this was like I always wanted to write a kind of death metal track that
Uh-huh.
was about something really lame, like, I don't know, losing your dinner money or,
Yeah,
burning yourself on the oven or something.
yeah, yeah.
Because death metal's so typically yeah, visceral and confronting, I guess, lyrically. So I just thought it'd be very funny to write a really heavy riff
Mhm.
about something not particularly vocally heavy. So we went for, losing your welly in the mud at a festival
Right, yeah.
and the horror of it, really. The,
Hmm.
the, the, the humanity, the disaster of it.
Uh-huh.
You spend all of this money to go to a festival and you end up in your socks and
Uh-huh.
you're drowning in the brown filth,
Right. Yeah, yeah,
covered in, you know, piss and
yeah.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, again, it's a weird one structurally and like musically. It sort of bounces between a very kind of singy, Megadethy bit, and then it's
Uh-huh.
into sludgy, doomy like carcass style stuff, and
Uh-huh.
then it goes a bit Cradle of Filth in the middle. It touches a lot of genres. I think that track. I don't think it's going to be the most popular, but
Uh-huh.
secretly we quite like it because it's a challenge to play and
Right, yeah.
it's a very odd track and we really like odd.
Cool, cool. Track number 8, Wrath of Sexbots.
Okay, the story behind this one is when we were on tour, our old guitarist in particular, Brother Payne, when we were bored, what we would do is we would go onto Facebook and go into Messenger, and there's this secret kind of spam requests thing in Messenger where
Uh-huh.
these bots are sending like naughty messages.
Uh-huh.
They're basically phishing. I think is basically phishing bots. So we would, when we were eating dinner or something, we would just read out these hilarious. Um, Maybe I've got some now. Hey, let's
Uh-huh.
do it live on the air. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if there are any. And we can share the fun of this. So I've gone into here. How do we actually do it? Message requests and then spam. Uh, just wait for this to load up. It's tense, right? You're
Yeah, yeah.
excited. Oh, it's just wearing. Oh, here we go. Here's one. I'm so single. Need a serious relation. Oh, it's not very funny actually. Need a serious relationship. Heart, kissy face.
Uh-huh.
Meet local women for sex tonight. Bikini, squirty
Uh-huh.
emoji.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of them are funnier than that. Hang on, let's try and find another one. Let's see what this one's doing. No, that's gone. Yeah, so basically we would just read these out to each other to
Hmm.
entertain each other. It's kind of like oh, here's a good one. Can I swear? I already have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah, you can.
All right, these are really rude now. I don't know if I can read that one. Oh. um, all right, this one's not too bad.
Uh-huh.
It's a squirty emoji.
Uh-huh.
Attractive, beautiful, nice tits,
Uh-huh.
lovely heart face, and looking for sexy pleasure. Really like anything. Kiss. Bottom emoji. Text me. Looky eyes. Downward clicking thing. So
Uh-huh.
we were like, man, what, these sex bots we call them. These sex
Hmm.
bots are just wild, absolutely wild. So we have to write a song about this in some way. And the
Right,
song kind of tells a story of somebody. It's almost like, oh, what would happen if we accidentally clicked one of these links?
right,
And it'd be like, well, we'd probably end up, this steal all of our data. And
right.
but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea we came up with is, what if they were actually, sexy bots
Right,
in,
yeah.
and then they would come around your house and then actually destroy you. So it was yeah. I don't think we're quite right. I think we need therapy.
Cool, cool. It's weird, when I was working, I'm retired now. So like when I was working, I had a guy at my job that actually, in his mind, believed these people are real. Okay, hold it, that ain't it. He spent $6,000.
No,
Yeah, he sent the
no.
money, right? And like it, it was so sad. And like people are trying to tell him it's not real. It's not
Yeah.
real. No, he goes, no, it's real. It's real. And he was sending the money. He
Yeah.
lost all his money. And he goes, oh yeah, this girl's coming on a plane today, and I'm going to meet her at the airport and stuff. He
Yeah.
sat in the airport like 5 hours. No one
Oh
showed up.
man. I mean, it's really sad, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
we're always like, why does this even exist? No one's going to fall for it, but they do. There you go. There's
they
evidence.
do. They
Yeah,
do.
there's
They do.
evidence.
Okay, last track, The Future Machine.
Future Machine. Right, this was the last track we wrote, and originally,
Uh-huh.
it was called "Scraping the Bottom of the Barrel."
Uh-huh. Wow.
Because we were like, are we scraping the bottom of the barrel here with this particular track? And
Right.
our kind of record producer came in and he like listened to our lyrics and he's like, no, you can do better. And he just again, like he's such a great guy, Russ Russell. He's such a brilliant person to work with. So he just pushed us and pushed us to turn this track into maybe one of the best ones on the album. Actually, we
Uh,
really love it, and it was a case of look, we could tell that we'd already written an album that sort of bounced genres, and we were like, well, what haven't we done? And we're
right.
like, well, and I always wanted to do a bit of an anthem, a bit of an 80s, rock
Right.
vibe, and so that's kind of what we pulled it from. There's a bit of Megadeth influence in there as well, I think, as with a lot of my writing. So yeah, great solo as well. I mean, the solos on this album, I think, are some of the best that we've done. I say we, I don't play
Uh,
them. Gravedigger plays them, but he's such a talent, and his solos are just amazing. So yeah, that was this one really. I mean, the song doesn't make a lot of sense. It's
right. Yeah.
basically again, it's another sort of little nod to the 80s, I think, and that's what the tour that we're doing. It's
Uh,
it's it's sort of leaning into that particular track, and the tour's called Planned Obsolescence, which is this this idea that uh, uh, maybe we're planned obsolescence. Maybe Evil Scarecrow is ready to be something else or nothing anymore, and so it's a bit of a joke of our own mortality, I guess, as a band and a gimmick.
cool, cool. Now, if people want to contact you, how can they reach out to you?
Well, I should know this really well, shouldn't I? I think if you
Uh-huh.
go to evilscarecrow.com, it takes you now to our link tree page or our Bandcamp
Uh-huh.
or something, and that's got like all of our stuff on it. And I think our link tree is also linked to from our Facebook page, and all of our links are on there. So, if we're running a Kickstarter, you'll find that on there. Album releases, all of our social media platforms are on there too. So that's the best place to go, really, I think. Let's have
Okay,
a look.
cool.
Let's see if I'm talking bullshit. I'm going to have a look
Uh-huh.
at my own website now and see what happens.
Cool, cool.
Here we go. Evil Scarecrow.
Uh-huh. Cool.
Didn't even do that right.
Uh-huh.
Evil Scarecrow. Co.uk maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't lie. Go to
Uh-huh.
evilscarecrow.co.uk
Okay, cool.
and that will
Cool.
take you to that's a link tree page and there's all of our links on there.
Wow. Have you read any reviews on the new album?
Yeah, I try not to read too many because
Uh,
bad reviews can make you feel a bit defeated. But so far they've all been really great. So
Uh-huh.
we're really happy with that. And we really weren't sure what people would think of it or
Uh-huh.
whether people would get it because again, like we say, we're jumping around kind of musical styles a little bit. But yeah, so far it's been really warmly received, and yeah, we're pretty happy. I mean, if everyone hated it, we wouldn't lose any sleep over it because
Uh-huh.
we wrote it for us. Like I said at the start, we're not really trying to make a massive amount of money here. We're just writing music that we love, trying to make people smile.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully, we do that.
Cool, cool. So merchandise, can they pick it up at your website?
Yeah, I think it's mostly on the Bandcamp page, which you can get to from that link. So, yeah, most of our merch is on Bandcamp, and all the stuff that's on there. I think you might still be able to buy stuff on our Kickstarter. I'm not sure how that's working at the moment because that's completed now. So there was some exclusive merch on there, but I guess if we have any left over, that's going to come in on the Bandcamp page as well. So you'll be able to get that as well once we release the physical copies of the album, which will be available on vinyl and CD. We'll get them through other marketplaces like Amazon and stuff like that. So
Right.
we'll get some physical distribution out to the world too.
Cool. So what's the rest of the year look like for the band?
We've got a tour coming up. Again, you can find details of that online. It's just the UK that we're touring. Big Christmas show here in our hometown in Nottingham, which we're really looking forward to. So yeah, check out the dates for that. Come and see us and share some silly times.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, Matt, it was great talking to you, and I appreciate the chat. Good information on each song. I'm sure people are gonna check out every song that you talked about. And congratulations on the new album, Silicone Tea. And I wish you the best. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Um, you're all a silicon tea.
There you go. There you go. Cool, cool.
Thank you, Brian. I'm really grateful to you, man. It's really nice getting a chance to talk about the tracks actually in that way. It's the first time I've done that, so it was really fun.
Cool, cool. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later, man.
Take care, my friend.
Bye
See you
bye.
soon, man. Bye bye.